Hello. For instance, like NATO has a requirement of making 2% of their GDP toward the organization, like each member state has to do that, or 3 or 4% now. Uh, what happens is that I'm an individual. I worked. Uh, I done, how to say, some type of services. Uh, I try to. Yes. What happened is like no one gives me the my property to me, and there's like this type of repetition coming from. There's like a cousin who said like the family is worried about your mental state, and technically it's like what does that mean? And I went there and I spoke with them repeatedly, one on one, as well as with other members. I call them on the phone, and apparently, I don't know what's wrong with these people head. I don't think that they have, yes, and as I have said in the past, is the issue with meeting someone from people from Tel Aviv in Switzerland, and that keeps on being basically a lingering issue because I've seen mathematics, I've seen everything which is logical, I run out of things to do. Going back to phase 8, it's very, 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 very difficult. It's like, why would you do that? Just like that. It's like everyone understand like building large infrastructures. It's like, it's like there's like a machinery. It has like a lot of components. Each of those components require materials, and that component is part of a bigger system, and that system is very large infrastructures. Those very large infrastructures are all basically, yes. And how do you supply them with that? How do you make the fixing of that, etc., etc., etc.? All those things aren't there, and what I'm seeing is like a concentration of uh, heavy machinery built up in German countries and in Germany basically. And yes, it's hard not to be pissed. So I was not in the UK, in Britain. I was not in Great Britain. I was not in France, and I was not in Spain or any of those countries. So I was not on the western bloc of Europe. I was on the northern bloc and on the eastern bloc. What I notice is that people are way, way, way different. In the eastern bloc, they have too much worry about the Soviet Union or Soviets. In the southern bloc, they have too much worry about organized crimes or criminals or things like that. And it's a very, very, very vivible cities. And basically, it's becoming like some type of defense strategy to bring up people. What I have told individuals, like there's like a work multi-layer multi-energy system based on environmental sustainability, and I keep on looking around. Basically I have this type of silly youth individuals who have a high level of jealousy, a high level of testosterone, and a high level of jealousy. Apparently, they go into basically it's people who cannot live in a society normally. They rather be like good enough in like the border states or something like that. And I'm an individuals responsible for building things, but apparently there's like some kind of group of mafia who basically have decided to take things. And I go and I call individuals. Apparently, everyone is part of an organized crime. And I called people, I told them this is not a country for me. I gave them all the legal arguments. What is the situation now is that It's really big mess, and there is one central country in Europe or in the entire world who is blocking all of this through every scheme in the existence, and that country is France. It's not Belgium, it's not Luxembourg, it's not even Luxembourg, it's France. And there is this type of block. What do they notice is like I have been making few comments, or no, I have been making my own analysis about the British presence in the Sahara, and it turned out we discovered a lot of things, and apparently the security staff who was there at that night is from a British origin. There have been like a lot of people from British origin. Basically, they were chasing people out from the European Union or from Sweden. Basically, there has been like an interaction between them, and they sent them. Uh, how how do I know this is a dumb decision? I have a lot of contacts and a lot of individuals from Great Britain in my contact list, and apparently life is much more different than what it what it seems on TV or in videos. Uh, yes, I can build things. There is like the new revolution in there is like the new revolution in heavy machinery, heavy vehicles, and that vehicle is like to make the entire vehicle lighter, and apparently we're not doing this through appropriate and we're no longer doing this about processing. We're no longer taking like a mechanistic approach but like an organic approach on the situation. When I contact is like I sent my work. uh, I've been to Austria. I've never been to Austria, it's a new country to me. I've met people from that country. I strengthened my work as much as possible, legally, administratively, and way more. Uh, I've done that work. This is the problem. I've done that work in the Scandinavian state, and yeah, there's like too much amount of bigotry, jealousy, and way more. And apparently, all of this behavior in many parts of Europe, this behavior is this behavior basically in all of those countries is considered the behavior of a mentally disordered person. It's not considered that in Great Britain, France, or those countries because they have international institutions in those countries. But like in few of those countries, like if a behavior is not logical, someone will ask you to see a psychiatric or psychologist.